you feel the vibes.
Alright, welcome. We're just gonna be having a little chat about my final thoughts and reviews on the beta. I played every day. I've played it quite a bit. And these are some of my likes, my dislikes. These are some of the points I've written down. Obviously I'm not I'm not like a pro COD player or anything, but I have an opinion. I was like, I'll just put it out there because maybe people want to hear about it, maybe they don't. Whatever, I'm doing it anyway. This is probably the first thing I noticed when I loaded up the game and jumped in my first match. The grain or the noise, whichever one it is, whichever you want to call it. I'm not like an expert on graphics, but it is really, really high. It is really, really high. Like, that is a big reason why it is hard to see people, because it's there's so grainy and there's so much noise that like people just blend in. They just blend in with the background. I mean, that along with the dark shadows that there is, it's sometimes impossible to see people. And on maps like Cartel, where you have bushes and stuff, and then you got people, and it's just impossible to see some people, man. I think there needs to be at least a slider. I know Modern Warfare there's a slider, and I know the meta on Modern Warfare is to turn all that stuff all the way down, and yeah, I think they either need to fix that personally, or add a slider for us. And another thing, there's a few points here actually. I'm getting like the things I don't like out of the way first, just because I feel like that's the most interesting stuff. Sliding and jumping, bro, like it feels like we got jetpacks on. It genuinely feels like we have jetpacks on, and especially you slide down a hill, bro, you're like tripling your speed. You just take off. You're shooting at someone, they slide, they're gone. They are absolutely gone, and it's a little bit silly. It is a little bit silly. And same with jumping, dude. People just be jumping around and they're like jumping up into the sky, and they land and they can jump up just as high as they just did. I think they need to tweak that a little bit. It is a problem. Obviously it's a thing that some people need to get used to. I know I personally wasn't used to it. I was just getting used to the sliding around and using that to my advantage towards the end of the beta. But for the most part, it's a little bit out of hand. It is a little bit out of hand, and I think they need to just tone it down just a little bit. And continuing onto things that they need to improve, like fundamentally, the sound of the game. I know a lot of my friends, especially some of my friends, are like heavy complaining that when they're getting shot at, they have no idea which direction it's coming from, because the gunfire sounds are I don't know, they're just wrong. There's something not right. You just don't know where the bullets are coming from. You can't hear other people shooting that loudly, and to continue on from not being able to hear people loudly, their footsteps, dude, you can't hear footsteps. Like, they're so quiet. I imagine the dead silence perk is not even going to matter because people's footsteps are so quiet. You're sneaking around anyway. And it's another similar thing that can be said with vehicles. Like, you can't, bro, you have like a snowmobile or a motorbike or something coming up behind you, you barely hear it until it's about to run your ass over. So they really need to tweak the sounds in this game. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying, especially because Modern Warfare was really good with the sounds. That is a thing I really enjoyed about that game. It was just the sounds were so crisp, and it was really good. And I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not sure if they're going to fix that one. I think that's one that's a little bit more iffy. That's a bit more work to do. And speaking of like footsteps and the sound being weak, dude, some of the guns are just you can't use them, bro. They are so, like, if you use, like, the Krieg 6, I believe it was, and you go up against an AK, you are losing that battle 90% of the time. It's just... And that's not a knock on the AK. The AK is not overpowered. It's not too good. It's not killing people in 2 hits. It's just... Some of the guns are just too weak. You don't need to nerf all the good guns in the game and make everything bad. You need to buff the bad ones, because some of them are just... The Krieg 6 is the most recent example that pops into my head. I don't really know the names of the bad guns because I tried them once or twice and I'm like, yo bro, this thing takes like 6 bullets to kill someone. I ain't using this. They really need to buff some of the guns 100%. And another thing they need to buff is the lighting on Miami, dude. It's... Ooh, like compared to the alpha, yeah, it's better. It is better, but it's still so dark. It is so dark. Like, it's honestly a pretty cool map, like, with the lights and stuff, but those lights, I think they need to have a brighter, like, reflection, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but they just need to have a bigger influence on lighting the rest of the map up, because it's so dark, you can't see people. And I think that's a little bit silly. I think that is really silly. Like, you don't have a FPS game and you have a dark map where people can't see, because a fundamental part of an FPS game is you can see people. And another map I really don't like is Crossroads. Like, dude, where is the cover? Where is the cover on that map? You just get sniped. If you're using anything but a sniper, you got no chance. And then you can just say, yeah, just use a sniper. But if everyone uses a sniper, nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be the most boring game ever. And from my personal experience, that's exactly what it's been. The most boring game ever. And also, next point, most of the attachments are pretty weak. They are pretty weak. They don't really seem to do that much. I mean, it's cool. I really enjoy how it shows the percentages and stuff, but like, it doesn't really, they don't seem to affect the gun that much. Like, a default gun is almost fine. And speaking of default stuff, the optics in this game are terrible, bro. They are so bad. Like, I understand with like a red dot sight, like a really basic red dot sight, it shouldn't really zoom in that much, but you put it in, it feels like it's zoomed out. Like, it genuinely feels like it's zoomed out when you have a red dot sight on, and I was not using it. I was just running ion sights and everything, and bro, the optics were just so bad. They were so bad. I don't know, something was just so wrong with them. Whether they were really small or zoomed out or something was just way off. Something was way off with the optics, and I was like, you know what, I'm just not even going to use it. And a lot of people that I've spoken to agree with that statement. Now moving into the positives. There is some positives, believe it or not. The game modes, I like the new game modes. Dirty Bomb is fun. It's something a bit different, something you've never seen before, and I thought it was really fun. You get 3 friends, and there's 4 of you. Hence I said 4. And it's just really enjoyable game mode, man. Just running around, you can just run around, kill people. You play the objective. It's heavy objective. You don't play the objective, you got no chance. And I think that's pretty cool. Promotes teamwork. It's fun. And another game mode I really enjoyed was Assault. I did enjoy Assault. I thought that was quite fun. Where you push through into people's spawns with the flags. Especially on Armada. On Armada, that's really cool. Especially with the boats and stuff. Like, bro, if you're on the bad side, it's a little bit annoying because of the people with the boats and stuff. But for the most part, that game mode is really fun. I love the idea of it, and it is an absolute clusterfuck. And that is that is always fun. That is always damn fun. And VIP Escort reminds me a lot of Cyber Attack, but with a cool twist, man. I've always thought a game mode like this would be cool. It's like always been in the back of my mind. Oh, you should have like a high value person, and they did, and they gave us a pistol, and the pistols are really good. That is another good thing. I love that the pistols are good, because in Modern Warfare, you cannot use them. You cannot use those things, but it's really good game mode. I had a lot of fun playing it, and the game modes are a W, and they brought Control back, which is one of my favorite game modes in Black Ops 4. One of the few reasons I kept playing Black Ops 4, but yeah, I think the game modes are a big W. Another good thing, I personally like it, the guns don't really seem to have a lot of recoil. I think the main problem with the guns is just some of them are weak. None of them seem to have much recoil, and it's very easy to control. The recoil is much different to control in Modern Warfare, so it's taken a little bit of adjustment. But for the most part, dude, the guns have really low recoil, and it reminds me a bit of Advanced Warfare, and Advanced Warfare was kind of fun in that aspect, I'm not gonna lie. And I think Treyarch games are always good with that. Like, you can use any gun for the most part. They obviously need to make a few tweaks here and there, but guns with low recoil means it's just easier to use every gun, and it's fun to be able to use every gun in the game. So I think that's a really good thing. I know people will be out there, oh, but if it's low recoil, then you just can't aim. Not really. The people who aim better are always going to aim better, and that's just how it is. Period. I think low recoil is a very good thing. And the other thing I think is a good thing, lethals like grenades and C4 and stuff, they aren't that deadly. They are not that deadly, and especially after the absolute mayhem of Modern Warfare, I am really happy about this, because I bro, there's nothing worse than just constantly getting blown up, and I think it's a W. I mean, there's not much else to say on that. That's just a major W. And honestly, I think some of the maps are good. I know I'll see a lot of people hating on the maps. I really like Satellite. I think Satellite is one of the more favorite maps I've ever played, and I've seen very mixed reviews on that. I think it's a lot different. It's a lot more unique, but I have fun, man. You can run a shotgun, you can run a sniper, you can run anything on the map. It just depends on where you go, and everything works against each other. And I think it's a really cool map. It's something different. I like the setting. It's cool. Moscow, I think it's solid. It's nothing special. It reminds me a lot of I remember I can't talk. I don't remember the name of the map, but it reminds me of a map that has a square in the middle. And that's the vibes I'm getting from it. Oh, Raid. Raid. It reminds me of Raid from Black Ops 2. That's what it reminds me of. Just a little bit. Not obviously not exact, but it's pretty damn similar. Cartel is a very good map as well. I just think they need to cut the shrubs. They cut the shrubs, so you can actually see people in them. That map is going to be elite. That is a really fun map. And Armada, I mean, anything to be said, bro. There's boats with guns. There's ships. You zip line. It's an awesome setting. It's a great map. Now onto the score streaks. This is always a thing that's always like a bit iffy. People like them to be overpowered. People don't like them to be overpowered. I think they're fun to use. They're not too overpowered, but they still get you kills. Score streaks are pretty good. I had a lot of fun with the artillery. The napalm strike is good. Chopper gun is pretty good, but it's not like ridiculously overpowered. The attack helicopter is a little bit weak. I think it should be able to do a bit more. Like I seem like when the enemy team calls in an attack helicopter, I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna run around. It's not gonna kill me anyway, and it pretty much never does. And the war machine is so much fun. Like, oh man, it's frustrating when you die with it before you get to use it properly, but that thing is really fun. I think the score streaks, they've done a really good job. Overall, I am concerned a little bit about the longevity of the multiplayer. Like, even after a couple of days of playing it, I was sort of like, you know, I don't really feel like playing it. Like, I don't want to really play it, you know. The gun balancing seems to be a little bit off, which is a shame because Treyarch's usually pretty good with that, but it is just a beta, so I assume they're going to fix that before the game comes out. And the ability to see enemies, especially on maps like Miami and Cartel, it's so frustrating, dude. It gets so frustrating. You just can't see people, and I think that will be a problem. But at the same time, going into Modern Warfare, pretty much everything I've said that was wrong with this game, I said the same about Modern Warfare, and so did everyone else. And they were all fixed. They were all fixed. And no, it wasn't even by the time of the full game coming out. It was like a good month or 2 months in before they started fixing some of this stuff. So I have hope. I definitely do have hope. I did enjoy the game. I did have fun. It needs to be tweaked. It definitely needs to be tweaked. There needs to be some stuff. But that's what the beta's for, man, you know? That's what the beta's for. If I was to rate the game that I played in the beta, not my expectations for the full game, but the game I played in the beta, I'd give it probably a 6.5 out of 10. Which, that's fine, because it's the beta. I didn't like some stuff. Some stuff's a little bit broken. A lot of people are agreeing. A lot of people are not liking it, but that's just people overreacting. I don't mind it. I think it's fun. There's definitely some fixes to be made, but that's what the beta is for. And people need to calm the fuck down.